All right, guys. Gregg Bissonette here at Drumeo, and these guys are holding my feet to the fire. I am going to have to practice what I preach right now because I always tell drummers, hey, if you want to be a recording session drummer or a touring drummer and somebody throws a new song at you, you better be able to chart it out. Because if, say, you've got to chart out 40 songs, I got a great memory, but it's short. 40 songs, forget it, I'm not going to remember it. So I'm going to pretend right now that I'm at Capitol Records in Hollywood, where I have the honor to record a lot. And my friend Dave Atkinson has flown in from Atkinville, Canada with a track. And I'm hoping and praying it's not something that Gavin gave him that's the new Porcupine Tree demo in 17/8 with heavy accents on 3, 5, 7, and 13. I'm just praying it's not that. It says, turnaround, no drums, copy. Okay, well, I have no idea what this is. I don't know if there's a programmed drum machine or if it's without drums. But what I need to do first and foremost, I'm going to call this Dave's Surprise Song. And I'm going to need to make a form chart. And a form chart just means how many bars of each section are there. So the first thing I need to do when I listen to it the first time through, I'm going to listen to it all the way through once. And hopefully it's not 112 minutes. It's only 6 minutes. So here we go. Okay, we're going to listen to it once, and I'm going to do my best on my floor tom to write a form chart. Now, this only works if you have a Dixon drum kit in purple sparkle and Remo white-coated ambassador heads. You'll never be able to chart out songs well unless you have that combination. So here we go. Dave's Surprise Song. I'm going to call that a verse. I'm going to call that a B section. Back to the verse. B section again. Call that a chorus. Solo section. That's either a John Patitucci 12-string bass up high or it's a guitar solo. It sounds like a bass solo. Spacey. Got some kicks going on. Sounds like it might be over the form. So this is obviously a form solo. They're going through the different sections. So we're going to figure that out in a minute. Building up. This is the end of the solo, I think. There's the end of the solo. Verse again, I think. B section. Maybe guitar solo over the chorus, I'm guessing. All right, well, it stopped. So that must be the end of that. So, and you got Karen M calling on your mobile. Accept or decline. Let's talk to Karen real quick. Hey, Karen, how are you?
Hello.
What's happening?
What's happening? Who is this?
This is Gregg Bissonette. I'm here at Drumeo. I'm a good friend of Dave's, and we're just doing a song, and you called, and so you're on the air live with Drumeo. Anything you want to say to our listening audience?
No.
No. Do you know that Dave was up at 5 a.m. playing hockey this morning?
Was he really?
He was. Now, I got up at 5. I went to the restroom and I went back to bed. But Karen, could you possibly call us back in a few minutes? Because we're just going to finish this song. But great meeting you.
Nice, thank you. Just have Dave call me back.
Hey, Dave, give Karen a call. Okay, thanks, Karen. Bye-bye. Okay, maybe now we'll go back to the song. I just would like to say it was wonderful meeting Karen. And this song, Turnaround, that Dave So I'm just writing guitar solo, open, and then ba da da ba, 1, 2, and 3, and a fermata. Okay, so I'm going to pause it for just a second here. Oh, wait a minute, you've got a chart. I'm looking in your MacBook Pro, and there's a chart. Ah! Okay, I won't. Okay, so. Yeah, I think your iTunes is messing with me here. Save changes to the Adobe Photoshop document. Don't save.
Yeah, we get it for you.
So I found out now that the conga intro, 1, 2, so I'm going to write 1, 2, conga intro. Now the thing about this song, there's 2 ways you could do it. When I record, I usually ask to have the MP3s and the PDFs of the chart sent. If they don't have a PDF, oftentimes the producer, Dave Atkinson in this case, would sit there while I'm writing the chart out, and Vic's helping me stop and start with my different sections, and he'll say, now in this verse, I'm thinking this. So I write down, okay, Dave's thinking this on this verse. Now the artist, who in this case is Tyson sitting behind us, he's the guitar player on this, and he's going to say, well, I'm really hearing kind of a backbeat right there. So in maybe red, Sharpie, I'm going to write, okay, red equals Tyson. I'm going to write guitar ideas in red. Dave Atkinson is going to be black here, Sharpie. And then maybe somebody from the record label pops in. And if you've got a record deal, that's usually the beginning of your problems in 2019. But hopefully you're going to self-publish, and you're going to make a lot more money putting this on your own social media and selling your own copies on iTunes and Apple Music and everything else, Spotify, whatever. But I'm digressing here. I'll make that record label person green, because hopefully you're going to make some money with that record label person. So their ideas, oh, can you use that sizzle symbol? Well, those will be in green Sharpie, okay? There's two ways I could go here. It would probably take about 30 minutes, I'd say, maybe 20 minutes, to write a super detailed chart of every single one of those kicks. A lot of kicks in this song. Dave wasn't messing around. I said, throw me what you got. And he threw me what he has here. It's not quite a Gavin Harrison 13/8 Porcupine Tree extravaganza, but it is Dave's surprise song and there's a lot of kicks. So what I'm going to do this time through is I'm going to listen and I'm going to get bar amounts for these sections that I've called intro, verse, B section, verse, B section, chorus, solo, spacey, bass, John Petitucci kind of thing, to another verse, to another B section, to kind of a chorus, guitar solo, and then ba, ba, ba with the fermata. Okay, so I'm calling these sections those names. The producer might say, no. Especially if they are Skyping in from Italy. No. This is not intro. This is main section. Oh, sorry, okay. Paolo, we're going to write main section. And he says, now, this is not the verse. This is expressivando. This is a main title. Okay, main title. Everybody's got different names for sections. You can call it what you want. And when you're making a chart, all that matters is that you know when the different sections are coming. Who cares what they call them? Now, Vic and I would have said, okay, let's call this the verse. Let's call this the B, and he put markers in there. But to save time, we're going to listen to this, and I'm going to get amounts of bars here. Okay, so I want to have a little disclaimer here. We are not reading my full-on transcription with every hit. And if I took the time to do that, which I promise I could do, I would hit up every hit. But I don't have that. I just have a very brief overview. So I'm just going to use my ears and try to play and get take one the best I can. Here we go. Okay, so now that chart that I made, and you can see on my floor tom, that's a very, very blanket form chart. It's not got a lot of decoration. By decoration, I mean rhythms and kicks and dynamics and how long you're holding sections and everything. So if, as I mentioned, if I really wanted to take 20 minutes, I could write all the kicks in, and the wonderful folks here at Drumeo have said, okay, we could do that route. You could do another take, or we could make this a combined session. All of a sudden, we realized that the producer over in Tuna Fish, Wyoming, sent us a PDF of the chart. So he didn't realize, with the big time change between Abbotsville and Tuna Fish, Wyoming, that he had this PDF, but he just woke up and he sent us a chart. So I'm going to get to show you, if I was on a recording session and Bernard Lochner had a chart, this is what I would do. You can see there's lots of figures here. Figures are good. And I'm not going to go over the figures with you because I'm going to sight read this. But what I am going to do is take my Sharpie and write phrase markings. Okay, so here you've got, well, that's one bar. And it's very hard to see computer printout charts. So I'm going to define the bars by writing like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, thank you, Bernard, because on this first line, you wrote 4 bars. But Bernard, on this line, you only wrote 3 bars and a coda. So that coda needs to be highlighted with a bigger Sharpie there. 3-bar phrase and a coda. So this line is a 4-bar phrase. That's great. I put double bars at the end of the 4 bars. So letter A, which is also the DS del Segno roadmap charts that I'll talk, roadmap signs that I'll talk about in a second. I'm going through and I'm putting my phrase markers. So you've got this intro line is 4 bars. This line is 4 bars. So there's an 8-bar intro. And then his verse, he's calling A. I called it a verse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going on to the B section. So he's hearing it differently than I heard it, but he wrote it. So, hey, know what? I wrote it. Here we're going to go DS al coda. For those of you who think that's a scene from The Godfather, take the gun, leave the cannolis. It's not. It's also Italian, but it's telling us, hey, right here, zip back to that DS. So there's your DS. So you read through, letter A. Okay, here we take the DS and we jump from here to the coda. So now we're at the coda, which is calling B prime. And that's a 1-bar, 2-bar, 3-bar. Thank you, Bernard, for the 4-bar phrase on one line. 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars. Another 4-bar phrase that's tied in to a 5th bar. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. This is the 5th bar. So it's a 2-bar hold. 2-bar hold, bars 4 and 5. After the drum solo, very bad thing happens. Just follow the drums. Make sure if drums are playing, everything is good. Because after drums, bass solo. Ah! It's the bass solo. The first line of the bass solo is 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Thank you, Bernard. Second stave here, 1, 2, 3, 4 with a repeat. This goes 5 times. Now, I'm not a pre-calculus guy. I hated math. I hated algebra, algebra 2, geometry. But I do know from arithmetic, which I like, that this 4-bar phrase twice is going to be 8 bars. Because 4 times 2 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. Let's go arithmetic. I wasn't crazy about division when the whole, remainder thing happened, later. I don't need to know about remainders. But I'm going to play 8 bars 5 times. Love my multiplication. 8 times 5, last time I checked, was 40. And we're going to do a 6th time right here because Bernard's got a 6th ending, okay? So what that means for those of you who don't read a lot is you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars going back. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're doing that 5 times. On the 6th, on the end of the 5th time, we're going and taking the 6th ending. Where does that go? It goes right down here into the verse, I called it, or as Bernard calls it, the A section. We're going to Sharpie out. Thank you, Bernard, 4 bars. No thank you, Bernard, 3 bars. That's okay, though. 3-bar phrases are cool. Now we're on B prime, and this is going to repeat. 1, 2, 3. This is why I was getting off. He threw a 5/8 bar in there. So if you're in 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 8th note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and becomes the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So that's why I messed that up when I was playing with my chart, that I would have realized somewhere down the road things weren't adding up. We're going to go 3 times here. And we're going to end with this figure, 1, 2, bop, bop, ba. Okay? And that's the ending. So now we're going to put that on the music stand. I feel like I'm doing a cooking channel. We're going to add a little bit of garlic for those at home that don't like vampires. And we're going to try to cook this up on the grill. Feel free to vary the groove and fills, Bernard says. So I'm going to feel free to vary the grooves and fills, and I'm going to make it my own, because that's the only thing I know how to do. Sometimes these demos will come with plastic drums, they call it. You know, drum machine ideas, programs, loops of the many different loop CDs that are out there. So you'll get a little bit of an idea. But Bernard, being the cool guy that he is letting me make it my own. So I'm going to make it my own, Bernard. Here we go. So, guys, I just want to wrap it up by saying it's really important to read music, and not only read music, but know how to articulate longs and shorts, how to count while you don't sound like you're counting, how to feel phrases and listen to the soloist, listen to the figures, know your roadmap signs, DS, coda, 3 times, 5 times. It's really important to transcribe. My first take I did on Dave's surprise song, I made a very basic form chart based on where I thought one was, because there was no real click. There was a shaker, I realized later, telling me where to start. But basically, I made a form chart from transcribing. I learned to transcribe by playing in a bunch of bands when I got out of college, because I was playing in 4 different bands, and we learned so many songs every week. I had to make charts for auditions. I once auditioned for Stevie Wonder's gig, and it was a day before, so I wrote out like 40 charts. I auditioned for David Lee Roth's gig, and part of the reason I got the gig was Steve Vai gave me some cassette tapes of their demos, and I wrote charts. And Dave said, "How'd you learn all those songs so fast?" And I said, "Well, I wrote charts." He goes, "You read music? You transcribe?" And that helped me get the gig. So this transcription I did, I was hearing one in a different place. It still would have worked. And I also didn't know that there was a 5/8 bar. I would have figured that out. But when I got to the chart, I realized, okay, here's where Bernhard is feeling 1, and there's a 5/8 bar, and that 5/8 bar happens 3 times. So my first take was with my transcription, I'll say my form chart, my cheat sheet. If I would have not had Bernhard's PDF, I would have made a transcription. But I had his transcription of the figures. And there was also in the MP3 plastic drums that you could listen to and follow. But he said in the end here, feel free to vary the grooves and fills, make it your own. So that's what I did, and I had a blast. I hope this helps you. I hope you work on this. It's a very important part of what I do. I'm a recording session and touring drummer that sings backgrounds, right? So that's what I do. When I show up at a TV show or a movie that show Friends for 10 years on NBC, we made transcriptions, we had charts every week. I did a couple weeks ago Family Guy, 6-page charts. You read them. You don't get a chance to take them home and look at them. You sight read them. And if you don't sight read them and play well, they'll hire somebody else. So this is what I do. This is my passion. I love doing it. I hope you do too.
Guilty while pleading, our case face to face. Sure we'll be relevant, sure we will be lost in space.